Okay, so this video too. Okay, so now let's say that will be the right brain side, and the physical side will be the left brain side. Now we got to step through the solstice, right? The summer solstice and the winter solstice, right? Let's say that is the stepping into the mirror. That will be the mirror, right? That divides the refracted side from the physical side, right? So we're going to go from left brain to right brain, right? Okay, consciousness. Okay, now, so now when we get to that side, right, but we got to have the crown chakra open, right? Okay, now once one goes through the mirror, let's say, as they do in those temples, right? Those Masonic temples, they go through a door and they get shocked, right? Okay, and that activates the crown chakra, right? That activates the higher mind, right? So they're going to go through the mirror, right, where those energies are connect, like, let's say they connect like sweet water, no, salt water and sweet water, as in the salt water, that line that goes between the sweet water and the salt water, right? Okay. Now, and the two don't combine, but they come together, right? So let's say that water is like that celestial mirror, right? And one has to cross over, right? Back and forth over, okay, to go from physical to non-physical, right? To go from terrestrial to extraterrestrial, right? Right brain being extraterrestrial, left brain being terrestrial, right? One being physical, one being non-physical, right? Okay, so now let's say that, okay, once one goes through that energy, there's going to be, okay, a shock, right? Because they're going to feel that shock their brain because they're crossing over, right? And that activates their crown chakra so that they can be able to consciously connect and interact consciously in that extraterrestrial or celestial realm. Now, another thing too is the same thing when a person is dreaming at night. And the reason why they cannot remember their dream, their vision, right, is because when they come back into their body, they are shocked. Their brain is shocked. So they cannot remember it unless it's really, really, really intense and really powerful. Then you know there's something to really, really think about, and it's a sign, it's a vision, but you don't want to remember everything. Of course, nobody wants to remember everything in their vision because something can be very horrific, right? Okay, but the reason why, predominantly why they don't remember it is because the brain is shocked, right? Just like when they exit, okay, the terrestrial to the extraterrestrial, there's a shock to go to the extraterrestrial aspect that is going to the mirror. And once they go to the mirror, just like when you're sleeping at night, you can look back and see, okay, you get that remote viewing, right? You can see what's going on. You kind of get, what do they call it? You kind of get, you get the visions, right? Premonitions, right? You can get the premonitions, like remote viewing, right? Okay, now that is when one is whole, when they can hold the frequency within both dimensions, right? The right brain and the left brain is activated. The spiritual mind, or the terrestrial mind, and the terrestrial mind, right? During both states of consciousness, the physical consciousness and the non-physical consciousness, right? The intangible consciousness and tangible consciousness, right? That will be the physical and the non-physical, the terrestrial and the extraterrestrial, right? Okay, now, of course, the terrestrial is hot, the extraterrestrial is higher because now you can communicate with your non-verbally, right? You can fly. You can do all kinds of things. You can, if you can control, if you can stay awake while you're in the intangible state of consciousness, if you can stay awake, then you can, affect those aspects of your life in this tangible aspect of consciousness, right? Okay, and if you can also maintain the frequency, right, which is just consciousness, then you can also communicate with ancestors and see the ancestors and go all kinds of places, right? And have a viewing. And that's the way we're supposed to be. That is the way we're supposed to be. And if you maintain that intangible consciousness that and can function in the duality, right? Then you can affect, even in your wake state, in the physical, in the tangible world, tangible manifestation of consciousness, then you can affect things in that respect too, right? Because it's all about the mind. It's all about the life force, the soul, right? Okay. Now, and think about it. Now, when Adam, you know, lost consciousness, right? When he was delivered to this lower dimension of consciousness, because that's what it is. It's a slower frequency, right? Okay. So this lower to this heavy, weighty, physical frequency, right? Okay, it also puts the person to sleep, and that's why the person sleeps. Now, in the intangible manifestation of consciousness, when one goes to Jannah, they're not going to sleep. Humanity is not going to sleep, right? There's not going to be any sleep, because the spirit will be free from the weight of the negativity and the weight of the heaviness of it, right? Okay, so now when he fell, when the consciousness fell, right? So too was the abilities removed from him, right? He had no ability to act in that higher dimension of consciousness, whereby he could communicate with one to the other with the mind, right? Now also, even the food, of course, is heavier it's denser with the negativity, the weight of negativity. That's why the person excretes the physical aspect of the food from their body, whereas if there was just in a still higher frequency, all the food that they would eat would be digested by the body, right? Okay, now, so it's very important to maintain the higher consciousness and go through the mirror. But the thing is, once you go through the mirror and look back through remote viewing, the world is going to seem crazy. And when you go over there, when you cross over, right, the person's going to be disoriented, right? Anxiety, there's going to be an exceeding amount of anxiety, stress, but if you done your homework, right? If you've done your work and you studied, and you stayed grounded in your spirituality, right? Then you're going to hold tight to that. And that will keep you, stable, mentally and emotionally stable enough to keep going and keep going and keep going until you get balanced, because you're going to be out of balance, because you're going to be in two dimensions, right? You're going to be functioning in two dimensions. So you're going to see things from the spiritual realm, but you're going to be functioning physically in the physical realm, and people are going to think you're crazy. People are going to think you're drunk. People are going to think all kinds of these crazy things, because they won't be there. They won't be between two dimensions, right? Now, you will see things. You will be hypersensitive, as I said. You've got to learn how to deal with your food, nutrition, right? So that you can stay energized, right? Now, and this is going to have a really big effect when Neptune and Saturn goes in Aries, because Aries is the head, right? So the person's going to become very, very sharp, and very serious, right? And very in-depth, right? And those will be the favored ones. Those will be the fortunate ones who are able to be awakened to that degree, right? So everybody won't have that ability, but there will be many that, that have that ability. Okay, so now, and that is being whole. When one is walking in, right, they're aligned with their purpose, right? Because in that state of being, you will begin to see your purpose and where you fit in and where others fit in in your life, why they're in your life, good, bad, or indifferent. And even if they've done, not seem to be so positive interacting in your life, you will still see the positive aspect for them having been in your life, right? You will see nothing happened for ill will, right? It didn't happen for ill will. Now, those people who may have done something ill to the person, they are the ones who are wrong. They were bad ones, but that person who did that wrong to that to let's say to you, okay, they were supposed to do good, but they chose to do no good, not good, and they are held accountable. But you will see the reason for they were in your life and what they were supposed to do, right? And you will see the purpose of your family being every member in your family, how they are connected to you through your celestial natal chart, right? And you will see your purpose as to where you fit in the bigger picture, in the stars, in the heavens, right? You will see where you fit in, and then you will know exactly what to do with your life, because you will know where you fit in, right? Okay, so as we said, the divine light of the world, Pluto is in Aquarius, and it's all about the activation of the new age, Christ consciousness in this new age of Aquarius. And Christ consciousness means peace, right? So, and that is what it is, stepping through the celestial looking glass. Because if you're not in peace, you cannot go through the looking glass. If you're not in peace, if you don't come in peace, right? That's why many will be left behind. And that's why those gin-filled Neanderthals, rat children, and Ashkenazis, and Nazis, and KKK, and all that crap, right? They want to keep humanity down and divide humanity in through the rainbow spectrum of humanity, right? To keep them weak, because the rainbow is most strongest, most powerful when it's united, right? And when the colors are united, it's black, right? And that's the hue, right? And that's the DMT, in order for the sun to heat up and then rise that DMT to the crown chakra, right? So you can connect with the universe, right? And you don't have to do verbal communication, you do telecommunication, right? Okay, so those who are not in peace will not get through. That is why there's so much wars and rumors of war, right? Because they want him. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's why there's wars and rumors of war. They want people to fight so that the humanity can stay down, right? Because one who is not peaceful cannot go through the eye's needle, the mirror, right? Okay, because one has to be light, because it's the consciousness that's going to go through. The physical body's going to stay, but the consciousness, the mind, the intangible aspect of the being goes through the mirror, right? Okay. So, stepping through the celestial mirror, one will see the other side of themselves, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay? So, yeah, okay? And that's why, mashallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even this video, right? This video that I am posting, no, this shirt that I'm wearing, right? This blouse is a shirt, but this shirt that I'm wearing from Nipsey Hussle, right? And what was his business called? I got to get back to my place. It is incumbent upon us, as we still need to support his business, okay? We still need to support that. And that's how you will see everybody who that, when those gin-filled demons try to sacrifice somebody, and you will begin to see how they try to utilize others and your energy to do it, right? Because I showed on one of my articles how they tried to use, what was it? They tried to cipher my energy, my celestial energy, in sacrificing this young man, right? So this young man, right, okay, and is connected. They tried to utilize his sacrifice to attack Brazeera, right? But what they try to use for ill will, Allah used for good. So he's part of the legacy of Brazeera. So I will always salute Nipsey Hussle, right? And we still need to support his business, right? Okay. that he brought forth, right? We need to support his business that he brought. So his family, support his family, because he is truly a loyal, faithful, humanitarian human being who sought to give to the, his community, his family, his community, his brothers, his sisters, his faith. He was a very, very wise, spiritual individual, right? And some may say, oh, well, if he was so spiritual, why was he doing that? Well, why did he live his life a certain way? Because he was a free man. That's why he lived his life the way he wanted to. He was a free man mentally, physically, and spiritually. And he knew where he came from and who he owed his debt as it relates to his purpose in life. Now, so, you must be assured, Ramadan, Umrah, Global MJ, LA Royals, as you began to transcend the celestial looking glass, the mirror, the outcast dragon, the beast, will await with his delusions, his illusions of horror, okay? So when you get ready to go through the mirror, he's going to make it look so scary because he's going to reflect back to the individual their negative aspects of life, right? He will reflect back to them. He will try to make the person so scared of stepping through. No, you just got to push his ass out the way and step on through. Okay? He will try to show you wars and bloody wars and starvation and famine and people dying and horror and just try to get the person to turn away so he can continue to usurp their energy and keep them down so he can feed. No, you've got to go through. You've got to get through, right? You see Donald Trump, what all he's going through, he's still he's still pursuing the goal of making freeing humanity or America from this swamp that is attempting to devour all of the world, all of humanity, right? With their negativity. And what did they say? That would rise up from the pit of it would rise up from the pit of hell, right? Because that's what's with that Democratic Party. That's where it's come from, the pit of hell. That's why they're the Democrats, okay? And Democrats mean demons, a demon citizenry, okay? And that's exactly what they are, a demon citizenry. Okay, citizenry, right? And they're trying to do all this wars and rumors of war with the Netanyahu and the Rothschild and war in Taiwan and war in Russia and war here. La qadr Allah, la qadr Allah, la qadr Allah. That means Allah forbid, right? And so, yeah. So to scare you to think their world is coming to an end and they're trying to fight the death because the end of the celestial 50,000 yesteryear is over. And the new one has begun, and they're trying to get everybody to be non-peaceful. Dang, did we go that fast? Okay, so we're going to go to video 3.